The year was 1804, and the Kingdom of Siam was a land caught between tradition and the whispering winds of change. In the royal palace of Bangkok, a boy named Mongkut was born into privilege, yet destiny had charted a path for him that would forever alter the course of his nation. From the moment he drew his first breath, it was clear that Mongkut was no ordinary prince. He possessed a keen mind, a restless curiosity, and a spirit unbound by convention. Mongkut's youth was steeped in the rigorous rituals of royal life, yet he was also drawn to the vast world beyond the palace walls. His education was unparalleled, combining classical Buddhist teachings with Western sciences and languages. He learned Pali, Sanskrit, and French, delved into astronomy and mathematics, and studied the intricate art of diplomacy. By his teenage years, Mongkut had already begun to challenge the established norms, quietly questioning the rigidity of courtly tradition. In 1824, tragedy struck. His father, King Rama II, passed away, leaving the throne to Mongkut's elder brother. Mongkut, however, did not seek power immediately. Instead, he chose the path of a Buddhist monk, spending over 25 years in the Sangha, the monastic order. During these decades, he immersed himself in meditation, scholarship, and the observation of human nature. These years would shape him profoundly, granting him wisdom, patience, and a vision that few rulers could claim. Yet even in the monastery, Mongkut remained a man of ambition. He meticulously observed Siam's social and political structures, noting both their strengths and their weaknesses. He studied foreign powers with sharp eyes, aware that the world was rapidly changing and that Siam could not remain isolated forever. The arrival of European missionaries, traders, and envoys fascinated him. He saw opportunity and danger in equal measure. In 1851, upon the death of his brother, Mongkut ascended the throne, becoming King Rama IV of Siam. His coronation was both a spectacle of tradition and a signal of change. The new king was determined to modernize his kingdom, to open its doors to the world while preserving its cultural identity. He understood that survival in the 19th century required more than armies and fortresses. It demanded knowledge, diplomacy, and innovation. Mongkut's reign was marked by extraordinary reforms. He modernized the Siamese bureaucracy, established a more systematic legal code, and encouraged Western-style education. He built infrastructure, improved navigation along the Chao Phraya River, and initiated public works projects that transformed Bangkok into a hub of commerce and culture. Yet his reforms were measured, deliberate, and always respectful of Siam's traditions, earning him the title of the father of modern Siam. A lesser-known aspect of Mongkut's life, one that fascinates historians and gossip alike, was his personal life. King Mongkut was a man who balanced the weight of kingship with the intricate dynamics of a royal harem. Over his lifetime, he is said to have had more than 80 wives. Each of these women held a unique place in his life, serving both political and personal purposes. Some were daughters of noble families, cementing alliances and strengthening loyalty among the Siamese aristocracy. Others were selected for their beauty, intelligence, or charm, offering companionship and influence within the palace walls. The king managed this vast harem with an unexpected degree of fairness. Unlike many monarchs of his time, Mongkut is said to have been meticulous in ensuring that each wife had her own quarters, attendants, and daily provisions. He engaged with them in conversation, discussing philosophy, religion, and the affairs of the state. Some historians suggest that these women were not merely ornamental figures. They were confidants, advisors, and silent witnesses to the king's evolving vision for Siam. Mongkut's personal relationships were complex. He fathered numerous children, yet he maintained a disciplined and orderly household, ensuring that rivalries and jealousy were minimized. His harem was a reflection of Siamese culture, where polygamy among royalty was both a privilege and a political tool. Through his wives, Mongkut reinforced alliances, appeased powerful families, and navigated the delicate balance of courtly intrigue. Amidst his domestic life, Mongkut faced external pressures that would test his reign. The British and French were expanding their colonial empires in Southeast Asia, and Siam was caught in the crossfire of diplomatic negotiations. Mongkut's understanding of Western culture and science became his greatest asset. He corresponded with missionaries and diplomats, often using his knowledge of astronomy, engineering, and languages to impress and negotiate favorable treaties. His ability to blend intellect with diplomacy ensured that Siam remained independent, a rare feat in an era of rampant colonization. One of Mongkut's most famous interactions came with the American missionary Anna Leonowens. The British Empire had long been intrigued by the idea of modernizing Siam, and Anna was invited to teach English and Western customs to the royal children. Her memoirs, later dramatized in the musical The King and I, depicted Mongkut as an enigmatic and commanding figure. While her accounts romanticized certain elements, they captured the essence of a king who straddled two worlds, one rooted in centuries-old tradition and one reaching for the future. Despite the fascination with his harem and foreign relations, Mongkut's spiritual life remained central to his identity. He continued to perform Buddhist rituals, consult with monks, and meditate daily. He sought moral guidance in all decisions, believing that a king's duty extended beyond politics to the ethical stewardship of his people. This integration of spiritual discipline and practical governance distinguished Mongkut from many of his contemporaries. Mongkut's reign was also marked by scientific curiosity. He accurately predicted a solar eclipse in 1868, an achievement that garnered international attention. Scholars from Europe marveled at his proficiency in astronomy and mathematics, and his reputation as a learned monarch grew. He invited scientists to his court, encouraged the translation of Western texts, and sought to implement technological advancements that would benefit agriculture, trade, and urban development. Yet even the most brilliant monarch is not immune to tragedy. In 1868, while observing a solar eclipse with European scientists, Mongkut contracted malaria. His death shocked the nation, leaving Siam in mourning. He was succeeded by his son Chulalongkorn, who would continue many of his father's reforms and further modernize the kingdom. Mongkut's legacy was immense. A nation preserved from colonial conquest, a court transformed by intellect and innovation, and a personal life that was as complex as it was influential. The story of King Mongkut is not merely one of politics and reform. It is a tale of vision, intellect, and human complexity. His 80 wives, often reduced to mere numbers in historical accounts, were integral to his life, reflecting the intricate web of social, political, and personal relationships that defined Siamese royalty. Each wife, each child, and each courtly decision contributed to the fabric of a kingdom that navigated the delicate dance of tradition and modernity with remarkable skill. Mongkut's approach to modernization was nuanced. He did not blindly imitate Western nations. Instead, he selectively integrated useful technologies, administrative methods, and educational practices while maintaining Siamese identity. His diplomacy ensured that foreign powers respected Siam's sovereignty, while his domestic policies improved the lives of his subjects. He understood that true power required both intellect and moral authority, and he wielded both with precision. The king's harem, often sensationalized in popular accounts, also offers insight into his personality. Mongkut was disciplined, deliberate, and strategic in all matters of life. His interactions with his wives demonstrated a blend of authority and engagement, reflecting a man who valued intellect, conversation, and companionship alongside political expediency. Some of his wives were educated, some were artists, and some were skilled in diplomacy themselves. This environment fostered a court that was intellectually vibrant and socially intricate, reinforcing Mongkut's vision of a Siam that could adapt without losing its soul. King Mongkut's impact on Siam extended far beyond his lifetime. His reforms laid the foundation for a modern state, his diplomacy preserved independence, and his personal life reflected the complex interplay of culture, politics, and human desire. He demonstrated that leadership required vision, intelligence, and moral integrity. By blending the wisdom of tradition with the innovations of the modern world, Mongkut created a legacy that would endure for generations. Even today, his story captivates historians, writers, and filmmakers. The narrative of a monk-turned-king who balanced the demands of a vast harem, the pressures of foreign powers, and the responsibilities of modernization remains extraordinary. King Mongkut of Siam was not merely a ruler. He was a visionary, a strategist, and a man who understood the delicate balance of power, knowledge, and human relationships. His 80 wives were more than a footnote. They were a testament to his ability to navigate the complex human and political landscapes of his time. In reflecting on King Mongkut, one sees a figure of rare intellect and adaptability. He was a king who embraced knowledge, respected tradition, and anticipated the future. He was a man who understood that governance was not only about power, but about vision, foresight, and the careful management of relationships, both personal and political. His harem, his children, his reforms, and his diplomacy all intertwined to create a kingdom that could withstand the pressures of a rapidly changing world. The legacy of King Mongkut is a lesson in leadership. He demonstrated that true strength lies not in force alone, but in intellect, strategy, and moral authority. He showed that personal complexity, his spiritual devotion, his relationships with his 80 wives, and his engagement with foreign knowledge could coexist with effective governance. He was a king who embraced the challenges of his era with courage, intelligence, and foresight, leaving behind a Siam that was stronger, wiser, and poised for the future. King Mongkut's life reminds us that history is not just about events, it is about people, choices, and the intricate web of relationships that define nations. His story is a testament to the power of vision, the importance of intellect, and the enduring impact of leadership that balances tradition with innovation. But history has even more fascinating leaders waiting in the shadows. Stick around and subscribe. Let's explore their worlds together. History isn't just old stories, it's an epic adventure full of power, ambition, and incredible tales. Thank you for watching.